all off season long, I was talking about this fantasy football strategy, how you need to implement it, how it could really help you build your fantasy teams, help you mine some value, help you get some good players in the middle of the late rounds, and help you take some shots at some upside. And I talked about it damn near every day, and it really reared its ugly head here in week 1 of why you needed to use this strategy, because it's very important that you really know these numbers and know how the market works at this position. But before we dig in, you got to click that subscribe button right now. Stop missing out on this content, because I'm giving you the information to help you win the waiver wire, help you win trades, and help you win your fantasy leagues by helping you set those lineups. Hit that button. Stop missing out. But this is what we're looking at today, and it's the tight end position. And what I've been saying all offseason long, pretty much for years now, is you either want to pay up and get a stable tight end, or just fade the position, because the tight end like 10 to 12, 8 to 12, whatever it is on a week-to-week basis, does not score much more than the tight end 25. And there are some weeks where you got tight end ones who don't even score double-digit fantasy points. And we got that this week. The tight end position was horrible. We're here at NFL.com. We're just pulling up the basic scoring here. Only the first 1, 2, 3, 4 tight ends scored in double digits. After that, Evan Ingram scored 9.9 fantasy points. Just missed out on hitting 10. Your tight end 12, pretty much some people call him a tight end 1, is Zach Ertz, 8.1 fantasy points. How far is that away from being a tight end 25? Tight end 25 is out here at the bottom of the page. 5.5. So like 3 points away from each other. That being said, and when you think about this week to week, why not take shots in the later rounds? Either pay up and try and get a guy who's stable, but we don't have much stability here at the top anyways. Look, Hunter Henry, Aiden Hurst, TJ Hawkinson, Donald Parham. Nobody was drafting some of those guys. TJ Hawkinson had some draft capital there. But really think about the tight end position as a whole. It's up and down like this. It was like this last year. It was like this the year before. You really look at the position from week to week. The tight end 8, really not much more than the tight end 25. And there's a lot of weeks just like this one. It just happened to be on week 1 where you're not getting many guys hitting double-digit fantasy points. And it's becoming more apparent from week to week. And this game is a week-to-week game, not a season-long game, but it is a race to the finish. But how many weeks can you win? And then you see how fluky this tight end position is. Look at all these names. Half of them didn't even get drafted in your league. And half the tight ends you drafted were damn near worthless. If you started Travis Kelce, you're 9 points away from being a top 5 tight end. If you think about it that way, you're not that far. If you started Travis Kelce, you would have been all right compared to the other tight ends. You would have been far off from being a tight end 1, only 8 points away, 8.2. You're tight end 1. He's only a few points away from being a tight end 1. That's it. Kyle Pitts, you thought he busted on you with 6 fantasy points. He's only 2 points away from being in the top 12. Think of it that way. This tight end position is just rough. And it's like that week to week. Stop investing in these tight ends and drafts. Just stop doing it. You either want to pay up for one of the top guys, but again, injuries happen at the tight end position so much, and they're so off and on from week to week, or you want to fade the position and just play the matchups and close your eyes and hope for the best. Because what's the difference if they bust? They're not going to be too much different than like the tight end 12, the tight end 11, tight end 10 if they bust, and they're down here in the tight end 20 range because they're only going to be a few points away anyways. And if they hit, then you got a top guy. It's probably just best to stream the position for the rest of the year because, hell, look at the names up here. And it's going to be like that all year long because it was like that last year. It was like that the year prior. And that's just how the tight end position works. You get a couple top guys who can run it well from a week-to-week basis and give you tight end 1 numbers. But honestly, most of them, up and down throughout the season, this position is just straight up stupid. And you really just have to just be cheap with it. Just be cheap with it. Hope for the best. Play the waivers. Play the matchups. Stream it. And you know what? From week to week, it's going to look like this. Off and on. Numbers are a little bit different. The names are switched around. But you know what? It's still going to be a lot of stank. That's just what the tight end position is. But I had to show that to you because I talked about this all off season long, how these tight ends just suck and fantasy, and how they're just up and down the board every week, and how you just need to shoot for upside, hope for the best, turn and burn it, and play the matchups, because that's what you got right here. You got a bunch of tight ends here. A lot of them didn't even get drafted. It's going to look like that next week, the week after that, and they're all going to be flipping and flopping down the ranks and scoring each week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Catch you on the next episode.